Hi, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Neighborhood News. It's going to be, I guess, no guests today, so we're not going to have
today.
the.
Like we promised, like we promised last week, we're going to be today just going over some. Depend. Do you want to go over some numbers, or you want to go over some?
I don't know. It's probably neither
vote
of them.
counts or city councils.
Yeah, you can just throw it out there, and then we'll just.
Oh no! Don't let that up to me. You don't want to do that. But anyway, we're back for one more show. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Channel 95, we're back for one more show of Neighborhood News. Sejam bem-vindos. Hoje é terça-feira. Nós estamos de volta com mais um programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje nós não vamos ter, eu nunca sei qual é a câmera que eu estou a falar, hoje não vamos ter convidados, portanto nós vamos simplesmente conversar sobre assuntos e também trazer alguns eventos que as nossas vizinhanças vão ter. Today we're going to mix some events for the city,
Yep.
events from the neighborhoods together with the city city news.
Yeah.
Every day it's a new news. It's every day it's
More drama, right?
more drama. The kings and queens keep on growing and
moving.
growing. They keep moving. So, John, let me say this. Events, we're going to have some events. On my neighborhoods.
It's like the calendar's full, huh?
Yes, on my neighborhood, we're going to have our next event. It's going to be a participation on the Right to Remember. It's going to be on May 17. We
Okay.
were there last year
Yeah.
together, so I don't know if you have plans in being there this year or not.
Yeah, we'll
but,
probably be there.
you can look for our table there at that event. We're going to be showing you the Lafayette, the Father Travassos Park. We're going to have the sketch of Father Travassos there. If you have any questions or you want to see what the park's going to look like,
Cool.
we're going to be there with that. We're going to be there too with the plans for the Volt School Community Center, which if you have questions, we're going to be there, with all our questions. I have to say that one thing that we're going to do this year, and some neighborhoods already came aboard, was the movie night, which I'm very happy that more neighborhoods coming into this. So we're going to have the Flint, St. Anne's. St. Anne's started first than ours with this. We just came last year, and we joined the movie night with St. Anne's. We're going to have Father Cali, and we're going to have the Highlands neighborhoods already committed to. At least to one movie this year.
Yeah.
So we're going to do probably, we are planning to have the 3 months. But the first month, it's going to be 2 neighborhoods, and then the second month, St. Anne's, it's July.
Yeah.
St. Anne's is July that it does. So
Okay.
July will be us and St. Anne's, and then August will be us and another neighborhood. So, but altogether we can have up to 9 movie nights, which is good because it's going to be spread all over the city. So every neighborhood will have a chance to walk into a movie night. The plans are to do them on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Supposedly because kids are out of school, and after they spend their days on the pool, on the beach, they can come down to the park and watch a movie with the families and everything.
Yeah,
So
that's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. It's put more events on the calendar for the neighbors. One thing that I had a couple-hour meeting this week was the event Yaha.
Okay.
Yahoo is going to plan a huge event in August. And they approached me because they want the Flint neighborhood to be the sponsor of one night, the Thursday night. We already I already commit to some stuff, and they want me to handle the boxing night. So back in 1940s, were very popular sport was the boxing. So Sandy and Dennis asked me for help with this event, and the Thursday night they want the Flint neighborhood to be the sponsor and sponsoring the boxer event.
Cool.
So we're working on, so it's plenty of events that we're going to have this year. And I have to say, and again and again and again, thank you to all the neighborhoods that coming out, and today, because of the needs of our city, our neighborhoods need to be more than just a meeting. We need to get out. We need to ask people to participate, to come out, and to be with us.
Yeah.
And would be good for them, would be good for us, and the city will grow, and we will grow stronger than together. It's not such a thing, up the Flint, or I'm from Niagara. Especially this year, we are all going into other neighborhoods, and we are all working on this together. So
I agree. That's good. Very good.
So this is for the event. So that's the next event for me, and then we're gonna have cleanups. The city is working on
citywide one, right?
The citywide cleanup. So that came out yesterday on the Father Callie's Neighborhood Association. Mike Dion was there. Everybody knows that he's replacing for a couple of months the seat of Perry Long. So he's the one in charge of the neighborhood outreach seat there. And he's working right now on the date for the citywide cleanup, because it's very important for us to keep going.
Yeah,
Especially after a strong winter that we had this year.
Yeah.
That now the snow is melting, and we have debris all over the place. It's streets, it's parks, it's everywhere. Even people's yards. On my yard, I never saw so much trash just on my yard. But it's very important for us to keep doing what we have done, what was positive. Whatever it's positive, we should not kill it. We should keep moving.
Moving with it. No, I agree.
And this is one of them. So I need to thank John Perry and Ken Pacheco and Mike Dion, because they are pretty much the heads of this whole city wide cleanup. So
I agree.
And then we enjoy a nice hot dog and a hamburger there at the beautiful Kennedy Park.
Yep,
so
absolutely. So
very good. What are we going to talk today?
I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. The mayor just brought out that publication, I guess.
Nice book, though.
Yeah, which
very entertaining.
Yeah, very. I don't think there were any surprises there.
No.
There were no surprises there. I'm glad what was in writing was about those enterprise funds, such as the water and the sewer, because all too often, and I've seen this over the last couple of years, that whenever Terry Sullivan would come down and say, I don't have the money, we need to keep the rates higher, we have this uproar from the city council.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, then we lower the rate. Well, it's kind of like
walking backwards.
Yeah, walking backwards, but you don't fix your house, you don't fix your house, you don't fix your house, and then it's double as if you would have did it the first time. And I totally understand, I hear this where, well, you know what, there's mismanagement of money. There's always going to be mismanagement of money. However, I think the problem has been with us is that we don't do things when we're supposed to, and we do it later on, and then it's double what we're supposed to be doing. So, you know, and I think part of it is, you know, people, and I think we said this, no matter who gets in after the recall, you know, basically people are not going to, they're going to want things done right away. And that's just not possible. You know, and I think a lot of people felt that way, that this is going to be done right away, everything's going to be fixed. And things haven't been, you know, fixed in probably 15 to 20 years. This has been going down since then. So, you know, I think we have to have a little more patience. I think everybody needs to work together, and everybody needs to take a little bit of the pain.
And again, do you want to fix the problem, or you want again a mayor that's not going to raise no tax, do anything, and you're going to have another recall 2 years down on the road? That's what's going to happen if we don't raise stuff. But now, before we raise money from people, we really need to go and look at this money. How much we making and how much we spending, and where we spending. And it's, can we save some? You know, change it from here to there, but we need to look at the numbers. And then when we come down the numbers and we say, you know, all the fat is cut here, we don't have enough people on this department, we don't have enough people on that department, we're going to have to increase. When that comes down, I think that the citizens going to realize that's important and needs to be done. But until they have that question mark on that seat that's making $120,000, when they have an assistant of assistant of assistant of assistant, that's not going to happen. People's going to complain about it. You know,
well,
so.
And I hear you, but I think that basically, you know, you can't do this job by, you know, the mayor can't do this job by himself. He needs other people around, you know, to pretty much answer. A lot of this stuff is people calling, complaining about this, complaining about that, and they have to answer all these questions on top of worry about economic development, worry about the budget, worry about the firefighters, worried about this union, you know what I mean, that employee. So it all comes together. I just want to see, you know, if everybody would come together and do their part. And, you know, what I thought was eye-opening about that was that we see that taxes are increased, say 2.5%, but then we have, say, the firefighters union got a 7% increase. And I'm not taking that away from anybody. People deserve raises, I get it, but that's a cost of living increase. That's on top of whatever they get in promotions or step increases within their grade. So that's kind of, with anything, is misleading. And I know, because I work for the government, you get a cost of living increase and you can get your steps. But people have cut this. The state and feds have not given increases. I think for like 4 years I didn't get one, but then we got a 1%. So, and I don't think anybody really complained because they knew the predicament they were in. So if we just take, like, if each union is getting more than 2 or 3%, raising taxes 2.5% is not helping us at all. It's not even doing anything to fix the roads, increase school spending. It's just not doing anything. So I think that we need to go back and we need to look at things like that.
And I have to say this. I heard they are talking about the tax for people that use apartments as business. So, and the city don't know where to divide the line. If it's a 4 family, it's a 6 family, it's a 10 family, you know, they don't know what to divide. If I go to a bank and ask for a loan to buy a house, first question, you're gonna live on a house? No. Okay, so that's commercial.
Well, I think commercial normally though is 4 family. If it's a 3 family,
if you go for a loan and you don't live on the house, that's...
Oh, it's a commercial.
It's
then.
a commercial.
Okay, then there's
You're making
the
business
answer.
with it. It's an investment.
Yeah.
Because your property is the one that you live on. That's your property. Any other property that you go for a loan, it's an investment. So you're going to pay rates as an investor, as a business. So that's why I'm saying, why it's the city even just thinking about how many apartments are we going to consider it commercial? you have to follow the same lines that the banks does.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't live on the property, it's an income.
But you know what it is, Carlos? I think that they're probably got their hands up in the air with that, or trying to figure out, because they don't know, you know what I'm trying to say, if the people have a mortgage. I guess they could find that out. But, you know, some people don't have mortgages on those houses. So I see what you're saying. They probably just should say, if it's anything more than a one family and you don't live there, then it's considered a business, and it is considered a business.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, if you own a house that it has 10 tenements, but you live there, that's your home, that's your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not an investment. You have the apartment's helping you paying for the house, but that's and I had mortgage companies on my house telling me that on my table, say, you know, because I'm looking for, and it was a time that I was considering buying apartments.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's exactly what they told me. Is if you keep living on your single family, but you want to buy a full family, that is the money that we're going to, instead of getting 3% down, we're going to need a 15% down.
Yeah,
that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if all these people get all this information, why is the city not following the same steps?
And I see what you're saying. I just think it's a problem with enforcement here, because I think the best bet would say any multifamily residence is basically going to be considered commercial. You know, that's probably how you're going to have to do it, because, you know, and I look at it, all right, well, we're going to go back to, like, if, you know, it's an elderly person that owns the thing. Well, they most likely, they have tenants, they're making money off there. So it's anything that's income providing, I think that they should go on the.
So if I have you have a single home, and I have a single home, just for the water fee, we pay $35.
Yeah.
You think it's fair for this person that has a full tenement house paying the same $35 that we pay for the water fee?
No, but it's
not.
but it's by house, and I hear you. I mean, you know, those houses are going to be more likely to send their kids to the public schools. It's going to be more likely that they're going to use the police service, the ambulance service, more trash service. So, you know, it's a business. And I've heard people, you know, you hear people talking, or people on the radio, well, you know, I'm going to have to raise my rents on my tenants. Well, but that's your business. You're making money off that. That's your business. And there's a price to be had when you run a business.
Yes.
And I really think that things would change that way if we had, people would probably screen their tenants a little bit better also. They'd have to raise their rent. And I think raising rent, you know, you get to a certain point and, you know, it's a better situation for you too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good plan. I just don't, you know, I'm sure there would be a lot of
I don't know how
screaming.
they're gonna really.
But I think that's a good way to raise money, because those are, the people that are renting these places are making money here. And they're taking a lot of the services, so they need to pay more than what you're paying. I agree.
Yes, yeah.
I agree, because I look at my house or your house, a 3-family probably would pay $600 more a year in taxes. And, you know, basically they have 2 other families living there, using the trash service, using the water, all these other services, and they're only paying $500 or $600 more than us. That's not right either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
but with that being said, this is just one small piece. Where can we get the money?
Yeah.
Because, you know, and they already saying that, I think the mayor was already today on the radio saying that the school department is not going to get the money they need again.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened is the state gave us more money, and then what happens is now the money that we have to put in went up another $1 million. So sometimes something good happens, and then on the other hand, you got to put the money back in. So
and
I think that's what happened.
You were saying it's no way that we can do that.
Yeah.
It's no way. Well, again, priorities.
Yeah.
We need to go priorities.
Yeah.
Education is a priority, just like the police, just like the fire department. That's priorities. So we need to first put our priorities. And this was something that was, can I say was promised during campaign?
Sure.
Okay. So was promised during campaign that we gonna, next year, definitely, I'm gonna, put all the money on the school department, all the money needed.
Well, he did this year. He gave the 3.1 million to the school system. But
yes, because he had no choice.
Yeah.
And we had those $4 million that we've been putting aside
Yeah.
for a rainy day.
Yeah, yeah.
Now what's going to happen? We have $500,000 there. If we have another winter, half
But you know
the
what,
size that
Carlos?
we had this year.
No, you're right. I think we're out of trouble. But you know what? I remember years in the past that instead of a tax increase, they took money out of the rainy day fund. And people were okay with that. And I'm like, okay. I mean, in your own budget, right? You're not going to take money out of the bank to go pay for something in your you know what I mean? If you can get away with it, you're just going to move forward. You're not going to take money out of the bank to go on vacation somewhere if you don't have the money to do it, So it all comes back to that. And like I said, I blame us residents because we've accepted this stuff all this time. And this is why we're in this predicament.
And we're gonna have to fix it, or at least start the process of fixing, because it's gonna get a lot worse than this.
Yeah.
This is gonna get a lot worse. But guess what? That's what the people asked for. People asked for this. Stop lying to us. Give us the way it is. And we can handle. We just want to know the truth. So here's the truth. Is this, and now we need to keep going with that. The same way we've been asking for, and we've been strong about it. Just stop lying to us. Let's do this. Let's do this. Now we need to take it, and just like anything else, if you have your expenses to pay, and you're not making enough money, you're going to have to look for another part-time job because the money has to come in.
Yeah.
For you to be able to.
Or you're not going to be able to go out to eat like you normally were and stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's like if I get my water delivered every week, but guess what? I can save $20 a week there. Okay, it's $80 at the end of the month. So.
Well, I think that, and this goes back to the whole thing, everybody has to share in the sacrifice. Everybody's got to do it. Even the taxpayers. We're hearing about maybe something's going to happen to the water. These systems are not being fully funded right now.
Yeah.
And that's because people complained that they didn't want the water to go. And I get it. Everybody has issues with paying bills. If you were a millionaire and rich, would you really be, you'd be living in another state. So, I mean, if I hear that, well, some people can afford it, some can't. If you were, couldn't afford it, or I should say, I'm sorry, could afford it, and you have all this money, you wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So, we got to look at it that way. I mean, we all got to do this, and that's why I think we need to go back at, when the mayor was in, when Mayor Flanagan was in, I even called him and I talked to other people. I didn't think, with us being on federal grants, why in God's name would we give a group a 7% increase? Why would we? It doesn't make any sense. We can't even. We're not even supporting the force that we had, but we're going to give them a 7% increase. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I think, again, it's all going to go back to some kind of shared sacrifice. And I know people have felt that they have sacrificed, but a lot of the unions that we've had, or the workers, we have to look at it. You're working in Fall River. We don't have the money at this point. We had a lot of things happen in '09 when Mayor Carrera was in. We closed down City Hall, all right, for that day. And, basically, people said they lost money. You did lose money. You're right. You lost money, but you only worked the 4 days. I kept on hearing where people worked 5 days and they only got paid for 4. No. Friday it was closed and nobody worked. Yeah, I understand that was taken out of people's pay, but it's not as if you were working for free. And that's what you would get from people. And when that word gets out, people don't understand this stuff. So I think we need to look at this. And I think last time when Carrera was in during '09, I think everybody knew this. And I think we're in that same predicament now.
Yes.
We haven't come out of this recession from '09 here. No. We're still not out of it. Other places in the country have. I mean, but if you look at the assessor, what your house is worth now. Mine is, I'm back to like 2004. rates. I mean, we're 10 years, 11 years later.
Yeah.
So we haven't come out of this yet. So I think we all need to look at that. This is the city that you live in. You know, we all have to look at it and say, because you know what, Carlos? I look at the alternative. People, you've been hearing this too, receivership. Why don't we go into receivership? You know what? You do that, it's only going to hurt us. Number one, you know, if the unions are ones that don't care about that, all their contracts are going to be null and void. All of that's going to be null and void. And then our taxes, they're going to come in and they're going to say, $257 million budget. Every taxpayer, what do we have to raise that tax rate to? That's what we're going to raise it to.
On that, I have my things about receivership. I'm more inclined to go into a receivership because that's what happens when you realize that you're in trouble and you file for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And you file for bankruptcy. That gives you a chance to start from scratch. But guess what? You cannot go and ask for a credit card during 8 years. So has consequences. But those consequences is just they want to make sure that you're not going to fall on the same system that you were before. So that's why I'm saying I'm really looking into a receivership as a good thing for the city.
Yeah, and my thing is I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing if you have to file bankruptcy.
So can we disagree again?
No, it's true. but I look at it this way: is that people are saying that, but like I said, be careful what you wish for, because basically, like I said, you know, all the unions, all their contracts are gone. Taxpayers, if you don't want to pay $13.02 a thousand like we're paying now, and by the way, businesses are paying over $28 a thousand. I was listening to someone today on the radio that said they're a resident. They think they're paying more than their fair share. If you look at what the businesses are paying, they're paying $28.46 a thousand. We're paying $13.02. So if on an average house in Fall River at $189, right now you're paying $2,400. If you had that $28 tax rate, you'd be paying around $5,400 a year. That's roughly $500 a month.
But that's what I've said. That's what I said. It has consequences, and people need to know those consequences. Yeah. But and again, majority, that's the winner. Yeah. Okay. If people think that's the way they want to go, just like they went on a recall, majority win. Yeah. Okay. And that's it. We had a recall. Same thing. I think it's with the receivership. If people think that this is going to be it's going to be better for the residents, okay, it's the goal. But we're not going to go and pay more than anybody else because the others are paying.
Yeah, we're going to pay more. But you look at it, Carlos.
But they have better cities than us.
Yeah, they have better services. But that's where, and this all gets back to now. I blame us residents because you know what? If we were to go into receivership, we're going to pay. So if people want to do that, then why is there this big argument whenever anything's raised? Why is there this big argument at that point that we're raising this stuff? Because it's going to be raised a lot more than $13. You're going to have no control calling your city councilor and saying, I don't want to pay these taxes. The state took over. They're the boss now. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword.
But because we kind of can control.
Yeah.
This is a way that we had no control.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to say that, oh, you got that because you know that one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, has positives and negatives. So I think we are out of time. Yep. John, again, thank you for coming. And we had one more show. See you next week, Channel 95.
That's it.
7 o'clock.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.